In the morning sun where the flowers bloom, colors burst like a painter's dream come true. Roses red and violets blue, every petal whispers something new. From tiny seeds to trees so grand, every leaf and bird, it's all at hand. Hello, hello plant, welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello plant, in every shade and hue, for every heart and every hand, we've got something for you. Indoor greens and outdoor scenes, design your space, let your garden dreams glide. Personal touch with our garden design, free sessions to blend within your budget line. From tiny seeds to trees so grand, every leaf and bird, it's all at hand. Hello, hello plant, welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello plant, in every shade and hue, for every heart and every hand, we've got something for you. Now everybody, let's say hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello plant, welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello plant, and every shade and hue, for every heart and every hand, we've got something for you, just for you.
Hi everyone, and welcome to our Monday live Q&A. We do these every Monday. This is a space where you can come with any and all gardening questions, whether you're having a problem with a plant, if you're about to start a reno on a part of your garden, or if you just want to learn a bit more about gardening, because gardening is one of the best hobbies you could have. It not only it feels great, it means you have a beautiful space that you can enjoy, and I mean, who doesn't love sitting in nature and having some beautiful plants? So, if anyone has any questions, please do comment them below and we're going to answer them in live time here right now with Chris, our expert horticulturalist.
Hello.
How are you feeling today, Chris?
Good, thanks.
Excited to answer some questions?
Yeah.
Incredible. Before we get started, I do want to tell you guys about our live happening tomorrow. So we do these live Q&As every Monday, but we also do other lives about topics, and we teach you a little bit about something specific. So tomorrow we're going to be talking all about spring blossoms. Now, that might sound a bit crazy because, we're in a very cold winter day right now. Feels like spring is nowhere in sight. However, magnolias have started flowering down by the beach already.
That's right, and Viburnum tinus is in full bloom this week. Lovely, fragrant white Viburnum tinus. So, and the other nice early spring blossom is your spring flower is your Happy Wanderer, and they're all coming into flower all around Melbourne this week. So
very exciting.
So spring is on the way.
Oh, how exciting to hear. Incredible. So we're going to jump right in and answer our first question, which is from Arana, sorry if I said your name wrong, asking, do we stock New Zealand natives and do we have a favourite?
Yeah, actually it's hard. I love the Coprosmas, and we stock a range of Coprosmas, and Coprosmas are very much a New Zealand native, and of the Coprosmas, I really like the Tequila Sunrise. It's got a fabulous mix of colours, beautiful oranges and reds and things like that. Another one that I use all the time in my garden designs is I find the normal rock rose a bit untidy, but the tapuna is really, really nice. Nice even leaves, not too tall, beautiful white blossom. So your tapuna rock lily would be another. So one favourite would be your tequila sunrise coprosma, and there's quite a few coprosmas that I really, really like. And then the other one would be the tapuna. But we have quite a few New Zealand natives here, and New Zealand natives seem to do really, really well in southeastern Australia because we're probably very similar climates.
Amazing. All right, our next question is from 384. So there's a purple flowering native creeper that you see around everywhere, and it sometimes comes in lighter white/violet colours. Wondering if you know the name and if you sell them.
Right, what we're talking about here is Hardenbergia. Now Hardenbergia goes under different names. Sometimes it's called a native wisteria because it has flowers that hang like a wisteria, not quite as big as a wisteria flower. And I was just looking at them this morning. They're coming out to flower in the nursery, and we've got white ones in flower, we've got purple ones in flower, and then there's another one called Happy Duo. And now normally what happens when you put two climbers together, one climber will strangle the other one, you'll end up with one climber. But with Happy Duo, you plant them together, and it's a white one and a purple one, and you get this fabulous mix even years later where the white and purple flowers are right next to each other. It all seems to intertwine perfectly. And while we should get someone to bring a couple of Hardenbergias up, and we can show them towards the end of our thing.
Okay, yeah, let's see.
Because I was looking at them this morning, and they look absolutely fabulous, and it's such a wonderful splash of colour when the weather's so cold and miserable.
Yeah, exactly. So Emlyn, if you could get that sorted, we're going to get some of those plants for you to. So stick around, and we'll bring them here. In person, well, I mean online for you, but we'll bring it in person for us and show you what they look like.
And what would be nice is they come from down the back corner, and I'd get a purple one, a white one, and a happy duo, and we'll show people what they're all about.
Amazing.
And what's interesting about Hardenbergia is that if you grow them on the ground, they have a sort of like a dark green leaf that looks like a gum leaf. And I've seen large up in front of the Ford factory just up the road. There's a really large area right at the entrance of the Ford factory. Two large areas on either side of the driveway of that, and they'll come to life in the next week or so, and they'll just be beautiful purple, and it's just like gum leaves growing sort of as a creeper on the ground. And then what most people do with them is that they'll grow them on a wire fence or a bit of wire or something like that, and they'll grow up and grow over, and they call them happy wanderers because they wander and they cover quite large areas very, very quickly. And like say in garden design, say if someone's got an ugly old tank or something like that, I'll get them to put in a few posts and some wire and grow them up, and they really do cover up very, very quick. And because they're evergreen, you've got good year-round cover with fabulous end of winter, early spring blossoms.
Exciting, great. All right, I see that you have a comment from Pretty, but there's not quite a question there. So Pretty, if you just want to explain what you're asking. You're talking about the clearance sale Advanced Callistemon Dawson River Weeper. If you did have a question about that, please just comment below and we will answer it. Next question is from Kylie, asking for frost-tolerant hedges with no flowers that cause hay fever.
Right, okay. Red robin would be the most non-flowering, fast-growing, tough, frost-hardy one, but I've never heard of anybody having any problem with the cherry laurel or with the viburnum tinus. Both of them flower very briefly quite early in the season, so I would say if no flowers were to go, you'd go for the red robin Photinia, which is fast, it's evergreen, very, very frost-hardy. But two of the other best frost-hardy ones that we have are the cherry laurel, which flowers quite early in the season. I've never heard of anyone having a problem with the flowers on that. And so cherry laurel, and then the sweet viburnum, and the sweet viburnum flowers nice and early in the season, flowers quite briefly, and for most of the year it's just a lush evergreen. And all three of those are really, really good in quite harsh frosty areas.
Amazing. All right, next question is from Leave the Light On, asking for the best plants in front of a bedroom garden bed. It gets really hot in summer because of the large windows, and they love flowering shrubs. So any ideas for that, please?
Okay, so outside the bedroom window, a bit of fragrance might be really nice. And I was thinking on the ground you could grow something like Chinese star jasmine as a ground cover, and you've got 10 weeks of beautiful white fragrant flowers in summer, and then you could use a couple of orange jessamine, and orange jessamine can be clipped into a ball, and orange jessamine, otherwise known as Morea paniculata, beautiful glossy evergreen with white fragrant flowers. Now what's great about this one is it's actually the best fragrant bush in Melbourne because it's beautifully fragrant and it's fragrant for so long. So basically, if you plant a few of them, you'll have sort of sporadic flowering right through the whole period in Melbourne where the nights are warm. So you might get your first flowers last week in September, first week in October, and then they'll flower right through till April. So beautiful flowers for months and months and months with fabulous fragrance. So outside the bedroom window, I think a bit of fragrance, and I'm thinking some Chinese star jasmine and some orange jessamine. Both lush green foliage, sort of a bit of a tropical look, a really lush look, and white fragrant flowers.
That sounds incredible to me. All right, let's see. Next question is from Swap Napandayala, saying they have a draft lemon, maybe meaning dwarf lemon, is
Yeah.
draft lemon,
Yeah.
and they can only see one lemon. How can we boost its healthiness and keep it fruiting? So they're having some troubles with their lemon tree.
Well, actually, when I was a kid, we had a miserable lemon tree in the backyard and hardly ever got a lemon off it. And my mum read up on how to get your lemon tree happening. And what she got us to do was she got us to dig a big. It only had a little tiny circle of garden bed around it, and it was basically in the lawn. And she got us to dig a great big garden bed so that the garden bed was actually wider than the branches and the leaves of the tree. And then she got us to do a big mound of a sort of a donut-shaped mound of compost all around. So lovely, rich household compost. And I've done the idea since, and since I've even used compost with Osmocote in the compost, and then covered the whole thing in soil. So that basically the roots of the lemon were no longer in the grass, because the grass takes all the moisture, it takes all the nutrients. So the roots of the lemon were no longer in the grass, and then and when I've done this several times, but in no time at all, like maybe 12 or 18 months, our lemon tree had turned dark green and was covered in fruit, and you could always go down there and get half a dozen lemons any day you wanted to. And so basically, lemons are gross feeders, and when you do that sort of mound of, when you cultivate and get the grass away, and then do that sort of donut-shaped mound, the reason why you do a donut-shaped mound and just not a big mound is that you don't want to bury the graft on your lemon. So basically, it's donut-shaped, so there's a hole in the middle so that the graft is still sitting up like normal, and then you've got that. And then what you find if you do that, because I've done that several times since because I thought it was such a great idea, what you find if you do that and then 3 or 4 months later you go digging in there, you'll find that the lemon roots have gone right up through that mound and they're sucking all the good out of that mound. So basically it's lemon trees need lots and lots of fertilizer, and their favourite fertilizer is household compost. So it's the eggshells. They even love a bit of steel wool chucked in there because the steel wool gives a bit of iron. So it's your eggshells, it's all your peels, meat scraps, everything like that, all buried on the roots and then covered over with a bit of soil. And the lemon tree will feed on that and convert that to beautiful lush dark green foliage and heaps of lemons.
Amazing. They are in Sydney as well. Is there anything, does that matter at all if they're in Sydney or Melbourne?
No,
Okay.
except the only thing is that in Sydney you've got a lot of lighter, sandier soils than what we've got in Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is probably even more relevant or more important in Sydney than would be in Melbourne generally.
Okay, all right, amazing. Good luck with that, and hopefully your lemon tree starts giving you more lemons. Next question is from Jay. So their backyard is on a north corner block with open space outside, and they're dealing with quite damaging winds. What could be the solution to stop this without losing much sunlight?
Without losing much sunlight, that would be very, very difficult because really you need a windbreak. I wonder, do we know where they live at all?
What suburb-ish kind of area do you live in, Jay, if you just want to comment below? All that we've been given so far is just a north corner block with open space outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, the thing is to plan a windbreak, but the problem is your windbreak is going to come up high and block a little bit of sun. I guess it depends a little bit. the other thing is to perhaps move the windbreak as far out as you can on that corner, get it out as far as you can, and then don't let it get too high. But what you want is you want something that's really.
Oh, they're in. Sorry, Callo.
Right. Okay. Yep. Okay. So your hardiest, fastest growing would be to put a conifer there, and conifers really block the wind. Like the old farmers used to use the Macrocarpus cypress, and actually I love Macrocarpus cypresses. You find really good videos in that on our YouTube.
And a good article we wrote about conifers not too long ago called
Yeah.
How to Not Get Conned by Conifers.
Yeah.
So you should definitely check that out.
Yeah, but I think conifers are the best wind blockers, particularly on a hot northerly corner. They're not going to be worried. You're going to, out in Calcala, you're going to have absolutely scorching hot winds on a hot summer's day, and there's nothing like a cypress to break those down. A
Perfect.
cypress or a conifer. So things like your western red cedar is very good. Your Leighton's green cypress, your Spartan conifer, really, really tough. So one of those conifers, and at the moment there's fairly big ones going around quite cheaply. So it wouldn't be a hard job to very quickly get some shelter there, and then don't let it get too tall to try and keep a bit of sunshine.
Okay, awesome. Good luck with that, and hopefully you get some of those damaging winds going. Next question is from Ruchi asking, should the power feed fertilizer be used in winter?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think the only question is what are you using it on? Like we're getting close to the point where you might, like another month you should be feeding your roses, but I wouldn't be putting power feed on my roses now. I think it'd be a waste. But certainly, like I've noticed, my lemon tree is producing heaps of lemons at the moment, and it's looking pretty hungry. And it's a bit of power feed on my lemon tree would be fantastic. So any of your evergreen things, your evergreen plants, a lot of them are looking a bit hungry at the moment because I think it must take quite a bit of energy to sort of stay alive out there in this icy cold weather. So if you're evergreen and you're out there, a bit of power feed's going to, and on your pot plants as well. But so your evergreens and things like that, and your deciduous, you may be a month away from using power feed.
All right, incredible. Next question is from Brian. Brion, sorry, again, I'm probably going to be pronouncing these names wrong. Would leucadendrons work in a spot that gets sun in summer but shade in winter?
Doesn't sound ideal. You'd really want to try and find a spot with a bit of sun all year round.
Okay,
Yeah.
yep. All right, yeah, so unfortunately, maybe not in the spot that you're thinking. Do you have any maybe options that are similar that could work in that area?
Well, camellias, I mean, they're nothing like a leucadendron, but camellias are going to work well there. Some of your really hardier natives, again, the problem is that almost nothing's as exciting as a leucadendron, but things like your grevillea, not grevilleas, your correas, some of your callistemons will battle through in that sort of situation quite well.
Okay, awesome. All right, just a follow-up from Priti asking about the callistemon Dawson River Weeper. Can they use it as a hedge? There's kind of several questions, so I'll just ask one at a time. But yeah, can you use callistemon Dawson River Weeper as a hedge?
Okay, so a Dawson River Weeper would be on a country property where you had where you were happy to have something that would end up perhaps 2 or 3 meters wide, and sort of, because they come up and they go over like that. So if I was on a suburban block or a normal size block and I wanted a callistemon hedge, and I mean callistemon hedges are lovely, I'd look at a callistemon slim, because the callistemon slim it's very compact, and what's exciting about the callistemon slim being so compact is that when it does flower, the flowers, because it's not all over the place, the flowers are really close together, so it's this incredible fiery red column of red bottle-brush flowers. So the callistemon slims are quite amazing as a hedge, and the Dawson River Weeper, I'd be keeping it for the bigger block or as a feature tree in a smaller block, not as a hedge.
Okay, great. We pretty much answered the other questions that she had, just asking if it was a good idea to use it, what are the different types you have available. I think we've kind of been answering that. So the next one was just kind of asking what's better, River Weeper or Lily Pilly?
a river weeper, no. I think for a normal hedge on a normal block, you would look at a Callistemon slim, or you'd look at a lily pilly. And these days in Melbourne, choosing a lily pilly is just a little bit more difficult than what it used to be, because a lot of the lily pillies that are on the market are being decimated by a beetle that's moved down from Queensland. And so if you, the beetle, what it doesn't eat your weeping lily pilly, and it doesn't eat anything in the Acmena smithi family. So there's things like Sublime is one, that, and another one would be, what is it, green screen, ruby tip. So there's quite a few Acmena smithis on the market, and there's even just plain seedling Acmena smithis and Acmena smithi minor. So like out in our nursery, we'd have at least 10 different Acmena smithis. And then the other one is the weeping lily pilly. It doesn't like the weeping lily pilly. So weeping lily pilly, which is one of the classic old favourites, but a lot of the rest of them, like the Backyard Bliss and the one that I've promoted for years, the Neighbours Be Gone, they are being badly affected by it, and I've really not recommending them, because people have to use quite vicious sprays to clean them up. So choosing your lily pilly, and the great thing is that those beetles don't worry your Callistemon, and so, but my favourite Callistemon would be the slim.
Great, awesome, great options there. We're going to circle back to Ruchi's question, just because he did give a little bit more context about the power feed question. And he was just asking specifically about bamboos, fruit trees, daisies. Like, should we be adding power feed to those in winter?
Yes, I think, not so much the fruit trees. Well, no, hang on. Evergreen fruit trees, like your citrus or loquat or something like that, give it a blast now. That's great. Your deciduous, I'd wait till mid-August, so that they've got the food there as they start to move away.
Great, and we got another question from Ruchi as well, asking for hedging plants for a coastal look, and they are based in Melbourne.
Right. Okay. So, coastal look. Actually, we did a video just recently of your coastal rosemary, which is a type of Westringia, and that's got that lovely sort of little flowers. It's got that lovely sort of bluey grey foliage, and so great hedge for a really great hedge for a coastal look. But other things that you can use is the the New Zealand Christmas bush, and the feijoa. The feijoa's got that lovely grey silver. Or if you wanted a taller hedge, you might go with an olive. But all of those give you that sort of your olive, your feijoa, and your Westringia, and particularly if you choose the Westringias with the silver grey foliage, all give you a sort of a great coastal looking hedge.
Awesome. Now, next question is from Johnny. What can I use to stop little critters eating the leaves on my backyard blisses and Australis Select lily pillies?
Okay, so what you're talking about is the problem that's affecting a lot of people, and that is a beetle that has moved down from Queensland, and luckily they've stopped eating for the winter now. You won't find them out there windy now, but as soon as they warm up and start growing in the spring, the beetles come out and they move from the ground up. Now, the only thing that I've found that really knocks them off is Confidant or Confidor. There's different, which is quite a hefty spray, and not one that you'd really want to be using that often. It's quite a toxic sort of a thing, but that will stop those beetles, and you can do that every if you do it. I think I've got a hedge and I sprayed it really once last year, and it kind of seemed to keep them at bay. And you might have, to really have them wiped out, you might have done it 2 or 3 times. But the problem is that they're everywhere in Melbourne now, so you tend to get it, and then they tend to come back. The other thing is to consider, if the hedge isn't that great, is consider replacing it with one that doesn't get the beetle, and then not having that problem in the future. And that's as I said before, the Acmena smithis and the weeping lily pilly are the lily pillies that don't get that particular beetle.
We do have another follow-up question from Swap Napandiala. So you were mentioning kind of the compost and like the eggshells and things like that about her lemon tree that's not doing too well. She just wants to know what kind of the frequency the frequency of the eggshells, feeding, how often should she kind of be giving the eggshells like compost to the lemon tree?
A really good dose of, a really good thick, like what my mum got us to do, she got us to put on compost, really rich, rotting compost about this thick in a donut shape around our lemon tree, and that really lasted for years. So if it's big and thick, it can feed on that for ages, and then you can also top that up with a bit of Osmocote. Osmocote seems to work really well. In fact, I remember being at my dad's house one time when he retired down the beach, and in his backyard he had the best lemon tree I'd ever seen. It was the biggest, strongest lemon tree with the most lemons. I'd never seen a lemon tree like it. And I said, that lemon tree is amazing. I said, how'd you do that? He said, oh, one of the boys, when I was moving some stuff around, they spilled a 25 kilo bag of Osmocote on it. And he said, we never got round to cleaning it up, and it took up 25 kilos of Osmocote. And that seemed to affect it for years. And he'd done that a few years beforehand, just before he retired, and it made the best tree. And what's great about, and actually it's another funny little story I can tell you, is that really often, particularly in summertime, I'll get somebody come in, often quite an old person or something like that, and they say, look, my lemon tree was going good for years and then it just suddenly died. And I'll ask them, and they'll I'll ask them, and the most common reason why, when you inquire into it, is you'll find that they've put on citrus mix. Now, citrus mix, I think, was designed by the chemical company to provide maximum profits to the company that was selling it, because what they're using is just uncoated fertilizer like a farmer would throw on the fields for a very fast result. And when the people put too much of that on and they water it in, it all releases at one time. And over the years, I reckon I've had dozens of people that when I inquire about their lemon tree death, we find that they recently put on citrus mix. And so I don't reckon anybody should ever put that sort of white powdery citrus mix onto their citrus trees, ever.
Huh.
I reckon that you should only use something. There are other ones like Nutricoats and things like that, but but something like an Osmocote, which is the one that's most commonly available. But any of those, and what it is, those fertilizers are coated. And so in my dad's case, if somebody had have dropped 25 kilos of the normal fertilizer on my dad's tree, the tree would have died. But because they dropped Osmocote or a coated fertilizer, what happened is that the tree didn't die. It lived. So what basically, although they love food, they don't want a big whack of it at once. So they love compost, and they love an Osmocote or a Nutricoat, any one of those coated fertilizers.
Great. Dory, we are going to keep answering questions, but as promised, here are the happy wanderers that are in flower right now, looking very, very beautiful. I think that was, Chris. I think it was one of the first questions that we answered.
Yeah. So
Chris is going to disappear now.
And there's three sorts that we've got in flower in the nursery. The first one is this white one here, and it's called Free and Easy. And then the second one here is this purple one, and that's called Happy Wanderer. Now they've got a very similar leaf, and they look very similar to each other. And you can buy them with the two of them in one pot, and they're called a happy duo. And when you've got the two in one pot, they're called a happy duo, and they'll twine together and produce a lovely mix of purpley blue and white flowers. So Hardenbergia, if your garden's lacking a bit of colour at the moment, consider Hardenbergia either as a ground cover or as something you could put on the fence or the wall.
Oh, so sorry, I'm just trying to move them out of the way so you can still see Chris but also see them. But yeah, they're looking very, very beautiful right now. All right, we're going to move on to the next question. We are going to round up very soon, so if you have any very pressing questions, get them in now. I think we're going to answer 3 more questions for today's live. But as always, if your question wasn't answered today, we do these lives weekly, every Monday, 12 p.m. So you can always just come next week, or if it is really urgent, just call us up, email us, anything like that, and we can answer it there as well. All right, our next question is from Aussie No Worries. saying one of the rose plants, Perfume Delight, they got in last November broke in half due to strong wind gust. Now it's a 50 centimeter stem only. Any recommendations to revive it?
I think it's gone to a better place.
Rose heaven.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Now what it is that how they make standard roses is they get a they get a wild rose cane and they chop it off and grow it as a cutting, and then when it strikes and starts growing, they then bud the top onto it. So when the top breaks off, you don't actually have that same variety that you had before. You've only got an old wild rose, and the old wild rose is a bit ugly and not, it's just an ugly old wild rose. So what we can do is if you give our details over, if you give your details over, we'll do a half price changeover for you to help you. And we've got lots of bare rooted roses. Now's the time of year to get your bare rooted roses in. And then next year, what I want you to do is use a really good strong stake and use black electrical tape and attach it to a nice strong stake and take it right up. And why people lose a lot of roses in summer storms is that they stake it up to the bottom of the head so that all the stress, when a big storm comes, the head moves like this and it breaks off. What you've got to do is you've got to have the stake going right through, up through the head. You've got to attach the head to the stake and the trunk to the stake so that when the big wind comes, instead of going like this and breaking, it goes like this as one unit. It moves as one unit like that. So staking it with a strong stake, black electrical tape, and attaching the head to that stake will mean that you don't have to come back for a half price replacement.
Great. So Aussie No Worries, I see you're on Instagram, so just send us a DM with your details and we will organise that for you. I'm sorry to hear about your poor rose. All right, second last question is from Danny. How do you keep Anagosan, oh god, this one's spelled hard.
Kangaroo paws.
Anagosantojos? These
Just double
plant
check
names.
that. I think that's the Latin name for kangaroo paws. Can you just
Okay.
Google and check that?
All right, we'll just check that. Sorry, these plant names really challenge me trying to pronounce it. We're just going to make sure that
Actually,
that
let's
is-
quickly do another one there. Somebody lost their connection. They wanted to say whether I would choose a Callistemon Slim over a Lily Pilly. Yeah, look, what it is, I like Lily Pillies and I love Callistemon Slims. And in the right situation, I would take the Callistemon Slim because it's very, very hardy. It's easy to grow and doesn't get any bugs. But that's not really. Lily Pillies are great hedges too. And what I love about the Callistemon Slim is beautiful red flowers. Fabulous.
Amazing, thank you. Yes, that is kangaroo paws. Sorry about my
Yeah.
really bad attempt at pronouncing it. How do we keep kangaroo paws happy?
It's not easy. What you'll find is that kangaroo paws like an open sunny situation. They like well-drained soil. They grow in sort of semi-desert country. So they're like well-drained, nice loose soil. So when you're planting them, you might mix some potting mix in. Use native Osmocote on them. And so open sunny spot, well-drained soil, native Osmocote, just the right amount of water, not too much, not too little. And then there's a degree of patience. They get these black spots on them and they look absolutely terrible, and you'll be tempted to dig them up and throw them away. And some of them will go so terrible you will have to throw them away. Like if you're going to have a kangaroo paw garden, the thing is to experiment a little, and what you'll find is some of them will do really well at your place and some of them won't. So be prepared to throw the odd one out, and then follow but give them a chance. Like I've seen them looking pretty terrible and 3 months later looking absolutely fabulous. So if they just shrivel up and die, you'd be prepared to chuck them out, but let them recover. I think patience, like after you've done the hot sunny spot, the well-drained soil, the native Osmocote, a little bit of water at the right time, they turn a bit black on you, be patient, let them have their bad patch and then let them recover, and that's what they seem to be able to do. So I guess patience is the last element needed to be successful with your kangaroo paws. And the thing is, when you get a kangaroo paw beautifully flowering, and there's such beautiful colours, and these days you can get little tiny ones. So if you've got a little tiny garden or pot, you can have a little one in it, and you get great big tall ones that'll come up over the fence and fit in with big shrubs. So there's so many choices in kangaroo paws in terms of colour, shape and size that they really are worth persevering with and getting right in the garden. So kangaroo paws, one of the most popular benches in our nursery.
Great. And our very last question today is from Sunny, asking what is the best option for corner house front hedging?
For corner house,
Front hedging.
okay, so if I wanted a small hedge, I would be, I reckon, like a coastal rosemary, which is a type of Westringia. Another garden site I did on the weekend, and I've done a couple this weekend. I've used the orange jessamine, and then this is for a lowish hedge, and then the other one is your viburnum dense fence is great for a sort of a low to medium hedge, you know, right out the front. And then if I was after a taller hedge, one of my favourites is the weeping lily pilly. So and I don't like the seedling one so much. A nice cutting grown weeping lily pilly can be very, very nice. And your sweet viburnum is fabulous too. So sweet viburnum and weeping lily pilly, great for a taller hedge, and for a smaller hedge, your dense fence, your dense fence, your coastal rosemary, and your orange jessamine for sort of something sort of waist height or something like that.
And that brings us to the end of our live Q&A. Like I mentioned before, if you have questions that didn't get answered today, or you come across any problems in the next week, come to our next live, Monday, 12 p.m. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, X. So we're on all the platforms pretty much. And you can just come with your questions and we will answer them in live time like we've done today. We would really love it if you could share the word about our live Q&As, because we want to help people as much as we can who have gardening questions just like you. And it can be really tricky finding the answers on Google sometimes. So I think this is a really great outlet and opportunity to be asking the questions. So please do tell your loved ones, tell anyone who wants to learn more about gardening, and we can keep growing our community here. And that is it for today. We hope you have a lovely rest of your Monday, and we will see you tomorrow, Tuesday. Keep an eye out. Do we have a time yet for our live? 12 o'clock? Okay.
Yeah, 12 o'clock tomorrow,
Yep.
Blossom Trees.
Amazing. Yep, very exciting. So we'll be sure to see you tomorrow, 12 p.m. on whatever platform you are right now. And if not, we'll see you for our next live Q&A Monday.
Okay, thank you.
In the morning sun, where the flowers bloom, colors burst like a painter's dream come true. Roses red and violets blue, every petal whispers something new. From tiny seeds to trees so grand, every leaf and bird, it's all at hand. Hello, hello, plant, welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello, plant, in every shade and hue, for every heart and every hand, we've got something for you. Indoor greens and outdoor scenes, design your space, let your garden dreams glide. Personal touch with our garden design, free sessions to blend within your budget line. Alright. From tiny seeds to trees so grand, every leaf and bird, it's all at hand. Hello, hello, plant, welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello.